Ecuador stole an early lead in this Latin American matchup, towering striker Agustin Delgado heading in the cross by Ulises de la Cruz. The Mexicans were stunned into action and hit back. Ramon Morales finding Jared Borghetti, and he scored with a well-crafted left-foot volley. Javier Aguirre's side proving yet again that they're made of stern stuff. In the 57th minute, Gerardo Torrado received a pass from Johan Rodriguez and fired a left-foot shot past Ecuador's keeper Jose Ceballos. It secured victory for Mexico. 2 defeats for Ecuador meant their World Cup dream was over. This match was a fine attacking spectacle, but a goal didn't arrive until the second half. Emre's initial shot was blocked, but he reacted quickest to the rebound, his effort trickling in despite the presence of many of the Costa Ricans. Knowing the Brazilians were next, the Ticos swept forward, but they'd wasted several good chances before Winston Parks eventually levelled it. Costa Rica deserved nothing less. Host Japan was searching for their first victory. Gary Bloom is your commentator.
Koji Nakata now for Japan. Yanagisawa, Inamoto! Japan have scored early in the second half, and Inamoto scores for the second successive game. What a delightful flick there to put Inamoto in. Was he onside? It's debatable.
The States had started strongly against Portugal and built upon that theme here. John O'Brien finding Clint Mathis, who controlled well before firing into the net. Korea relentlessly pressed forward. They had a fine chance to equalise just before half-time. Jeff Agus pulling down Hwang Sung-hong, and the penalty was awarded. Lee Il-young took on the responsibility, but Brad Friedel proved his value. The US keeper needed to be excellent throughout. Still, Korea's stubborn refusal to accept defeat was eventually rewarded. A deep free kick finding An Hyung-wan with just 12 minutes left. An's celebration designed to remind the Americans of a disputed skating gold in the Olympics. This match started at pedestrian pace, and it was something of a surprise when Mark Wilmots latched onto Gert Verheyen's knockdown to scramble the ball home. Captain Wilmots again proving that he's become one of the world's special players. 4 minutes after that, and Raouf Bauzouene scoring a beautiful free kick. The Tunisians didn't offer Russia much resistance, but Belgium were afforded no such favours. A tremendous effort this, but it finished 1-1. Big-name reputations were in jeopardy as one of the pre-tournament favourites, Portugal, set out to make amends for their opening game defeat. Pauleta steadied the nerves, beating Jerzy Dudek on his near post with 15 minutes played. In the second half, substitute Rui Costa found Luis Figo running into the box, and Pauleta was on hand again to finish. The Portuguese putting their capitulation against the Americans firmly behind them. Pauleta then completed a hat-trick, leaving the Polish defence flat-footed and bemused, firing past Dudek again to become the first Portuguese player since Eusebio to claim 3 in a match in the finals. The Poles were visibly shaken, their World Cup dreams now dying. Rui Costa enhanced their misery, turning Nuno Capucho's cross goalwards. Portugal had come back, but with this second defeat, Polish misery was complete. French farce or a late reprieve? Your commentator, Ian Dark.
Turfting with the throw for Denmark. Desailly with the header away. The French defending a bit indeterminate here. Turfting again. Oh, Romadell's in space on the far side and puts Denmark ahead. Here's the corner for France. Desailly with the header. Oh, that's unlucky. Angle of post and bar. This is Gravesen for Denmark. It's a lovely ball for Gronkjar. Likewise for Thomason. That's a wonderful goal. 2-0 at Denmark. France here are facing elimination unless they can do something very dramatic. Will draw into Trezeguet. Oh, hair's breadth escape for the Danes. Denmark win, they go through, and unbelievably, the champions, the superstar champions, France, are out.
Uruguay needed a win, but the South Americans endured a nightmare first half. 20 minutes gone, and El Hadji Diouf seizing on a poor back pass, pushing the ball past Fabian Carini and flying over him. The penalty awarded, despite the crackdown on diving by the officials. Kalilou Fadiga fired home the kick, and the Africans had 1 foot in the second round. Senegal needed just 6 more minutes to press home their advantage. Henri Camara racing down the left before picking out Pape Bouba Diop, who side-footed into the net. Diop completed a miserable first 45 for Uruguay when he again met a Camara cross. Uruguayan appeals for offside, finding no favour with the officials. The replay indicates they had a case, but the decision was tight. Into the second half, and Uruguay's apparently insurmountable task became more realistic when substitute Richard Morales pounced after 18 seconds with his first touch. Uruguay attacked continuously with gusto, but it took until the 70th minute to pull another goal back. Diego Forlan volleying home. After signing for Manchester United earlier in the year, many were surprised Forlan didn't get to play a more prominent role, and it's hard not to agree. One moment they were serenely entering the second round, but Senegal were now under massive threat. Uruguay's effort was all in vain until Morales was brought down in the box. Alvaro Recoba of Inter Milan had pulled the strings all day for Uruguay, and it was he who fired in the spot kick. A dramatic twist in a fantastic game. Uruguay had shown tremendous fighting spirit. 2 minutes remained when the seemingly impossible came tantalizingly within Uruguay's grasp. Morales heading wide with the goal gaping in injury time, and with that, the chance was gone. Uruguay were out. Even the boss fancied himself, but it was Bruno Metsu's men who were through. Senegal qualifying in second place behind Denmark, providing one of the great World Cup shocks. France's farcical challenge faltering badly. Uruguay missing too many chances. Cameroon needed to win to go through, and hopes were raised when Karsten Ramelow tripped Samuel Eto'o on the edge of the box to receive a second yellow card with 40 minutes played. Ramelow had been playing well coming into the side after injury to regular defenders, but this was not his proudest moment. Despite the adversity of being a man down, the Germans started the second half well. The informed Miroslav Klose producing some majestic skill and delivering a perfect pass to Marco Boda. Klose proving that he can create as well as finish, again justifying Rudi Voller's faith. Cameroon failed to pressure the Germans, and the task then became harder. Patrick Soufo receiving his second yellow card and his marching orders for a scything challenge on Michael Ballack. Even with parity in numbers and already leading, Germany still didn't ease off. In a familiar routine, Klose latched onto a Ballack cross to head home. It was his 5th goal of the tournament and reconfirmed his place at the top of the goal charts. For the African and Olympic champions, another disappointing exit. The Irish had never scored more than a single goal in any World Cup finals match. Now they had to. Robbie Keane gave them the perfect start, volleying home Gary Kelly's cross after just 7 minutes. Keane doing everything to get noticed. Gary Breen